So let's be honest here and say something everyone knows but nobody wants to admit. Morality has nothing to do with right and wrong, most of the time at least. It's merely crowd control, compliance conditioning masquerading as goodness. And that's the magic trick we all fall for. It uses words like goodness, humility, decency, and kindness to portray its supposed purpose. And so none of us have the balls to question it. That would make us immoral. There's another word we've been hypnotized to believe means being bad, where what it actually means is being different. And because nobody stops to ask why is morality good, everybody worships it like a deity and follows its commandments unquestioningly. What's worse is they build their entire identities around their conformity and don't even realize they've been hobbled by its limitations. You see, the genius of morality is that it uses guilt, approval, and fear with such efficiency that it creates a psychological cage around your personality, ensuring you can't be too loud, you can't move too much, and you certainly can't grow beyond acceptable limits. Morality has nothing to do with conscience, ethics, honor, or goodness. It's pure conditioning in its most unadulterated form, programming that's applied from your earliest memories and then repeated through your most trusted sources consistently through your life. And there's a highly efficient reward system for those who follow. In essence, it's not that different from giving a dog a treat for obeying their commands. Now, I'm not here to tell you these things. Deep down, you already know them. You just didn't want to admit it. No, I'm here to tell you how to escape. I'm going to give you 5 steps that will put you onto the pathway to smashing the chains that bind you to the mediocre existence morality wants from you and allow you to fuel a quest to fulfill your true potential and to control the direction of your own life rather than having others control it for you. Step 1. The guilt handcuffs. First rule of escape. You can't climb a wall or dig a tunnel if your hands are cuffed behind your back. And morality's handcuffs are guilt. The thing restraining you from saying or doing what you actually want because of how you think other people will react to it. That guilt restrains you from free movement. You have an exciting desire or inspirational but unconventional idea, yet you feel that sickening little ball of negative energy swirling around in your belly, just enough to convince you that the thing you're thinking is bad for you. But what it really means is it's bad for them. And from the earliest inception of your thought, guilt starts to blunt its formation. It generates doubt, makes you consider 1,000 possible consequences. Eventually, the thought vanishes in a fog of what could have been, and you're left with the belief, it's probably better that I didn't, just to be on the safe side. Don't want to rock the boat. Don't get me wrong, not all guilt is bad. Some of it is very useful, but that's your guilt. We all screw up at times. We do things instinctively that we know we shouldn't or did them wrong. At those times, we recognize we screwed up, and then a form of guilt nags at our internal persona. But that guilt belongs to us. It's not external or inherited. It's self-generating, and that means it has value and purpose. It tells us we can do better, that something we did or how we did it was beneath us. We did it wrong. It's there to teach us and make us acknowledge a lesson so we can grow by not repeating the same mistake again. But guilt applied by what somebody else may think of our actions, that's the handcuff. And as long as you're wearing them, you'll always be trying to climb a wall with hands tied behind your back. So how do you deal with that? Well, now you know you're wearing handcuffs, you need to think who put them on you. Where do you feel bad or afraid to speak your mind? Or for not spending enough time somewhere? Where do you feel bad or afraid for saying no or feeling kinky? Where do you feel pressure to arrive on time or behave a certain way that goes contrary to what you want to do? Think about them clearly until they give you crystal understanding of every aspect of your life and how guilt from a multitude of sources affects you. What you'll find is that it's everywhere. Ask yourself, who benefits from you feeling guilty about wanting a different job or wanting more adventurous sex? Who benefits from you spending your time doing something you would rather not be doing? Or adversely, from not doing something that you really want to do? That's the million-dollar question. Figure that out, and suddenly morality doesn't look like a clear-cut case of good and bad, especially once you see the turrets on the wall and machine guns pointing right at your free-willed mind. Guilt does nothing to keep you humble and decent. It keeps you small and easier to manipulate. It's a handcuff hobbling your free will, but while finding the guilt is critical, resisting it is the key. If you know who and what creates this feeling, you need to prepare yourself to withstand the judgment, the accusations, and the criticisms that will come from standing your ground. That's not easy. Can you handle a loved one calling you arrogant, your boss calling you unprofessional, your parents calling you immature? Because that will happen once you want to break free. Everyone you love will attack you with words designed specifically to keep you in check and question your own self-worth. However, if you can prepare yourself to face those words, if you can resist the guilt you now see clearly, suddenly you'll feel the wondrous joy of endless possibilities supporting you as you begin to claw over the walls. You start to believe you'll make it, and the thought of what awaits on the other side is blissful. Step 2. The good, the bad, and the untrue. Now we're free to move. Let's see clearly. The word good is one of the most dangerous words ever invented, and morality uses it like one of those laser-guided machine guns, following you around as you move through life to warn you of the destruction that will aspire if you step out of line. Be a good son, be a good daughter, a good man, a good woman, a good citizen, or just a good person. That all sounds awesome. But good according to whom? You ever think about that? Because most people don't. Who are the arbiters of good and bad? And do we really care what they think? And once you ask that question, the answer starts shaking the ground under your reality. My parents, my spouse, my boss, my religion, my community, maybe your bank or your insurance company. Or can you generalize it further, the greater good? That community of people who abandoned their lust for life 20 years ago and called it maturity. What are you giving up for the greater good? And why should you? So here's the next lesson. Next time you ask yourself, is something you are about to do or say good? Instead ask yourself, do I mean it? Is what I'm saying in this conversation what I really mean? Does my relationship really represent how I feel? Is what I have to do now what I truly want to do? Do I mean it when I say I'm sorry, or that I don't want something more? When I say I don't want to have sex with another man or another woman, is that true? What you'll find if you're honest with yourself, more often than not, is what everyone else calls moral behavior is just well-distinguished, controlled behavior, veiling a shameful cowardice. You're being good for them, not being true to yourself. Cowardice to admit that your life isn't peaceful is passive. You're not humble, you're timid. You're not disciplined, you're suppressed. And good? You're not good, you're compliant. And if you can finally admit these points and decide to change them, then maybe you can stop your life force draining out of you and start building a powerful vitality. If you can take that step and abide by the thing you realize, you will not only take a massive step to building your real personality, but you will save an immense amount of time. Time wasted on fake loyalty, on fake patience, of smiling when you should have walked away and disappointed people. It's not easy to be free, but it does make you feel alive, and it does allow you to be you, consciously, by your design. Step 3. Build a personal code. Every hero has a personal code, and you are becoming a hero in your own epic movie. So you need to clarify what that is. If you're not going to be controlled by inherited morality, you need to understand your own boundaries. Not society's declarations of acceptable behavior, but your own instinctive guidelines to live by. Your code for life. So you need to decide what that is. What's right? What's wrong? By your judgment. How satisfied are you with your financial world or your commercial direction? How much and what kind of sex do you want? Who do you want to hang out with? How do you want to be seen, identified, and reacted to? How much are you willing to tolerate? When you author your own code, you set these limits, you create these identities, and then you adopt them as your own moral compass. And this is probably the most important of all steps on your road to liberation. Creating your personal moral compass and calling upon it to guide you every single decision or action you experience. That allows you to draw your own roadmap of life. That is freedom. That is self-control. If something doesn't conform to your code, don't do it. It's truly that simple. Your code is your personal GPS, but it only works in directing you to your desire if you follow it. And this is where things get interesting, because having your own code makes you separate from the herd. Once you separate from the herd, you become different. Different means extraordinary. Extraordinary means valuable. Bad boys follow their own code. Leaders follow their own code. The successful follow their own code. You see a pattern forming? A code makes you powerful. It makes you attractive. It makes you fascinating. And yes, it's a defining step to succeeding in the achievements you have set for yourself in your life. Step 4. Replace shame with pride. Misdirection is every magician's most important tool. Look here and you can't see what I'm doing over there. And as morality is one of life's greatest magic tricks, misdirection has again been applied en masse to convince you that your pride is in fact your shame. A person who feels shame is easy to manipulate. They're easy to control, easy to satisfy. But a person driven by pride, well, they're insatiable, they're unbreakable, they're unstoppable. And so morality has made sure that you're humiliated by your own pride, that you're disgusted by your desires and embarrassed by your own vanity. And the lesson starts early. Don't be beautiful, that's vanity. Don't be sexual, that's perversion. Don't be angry, that's unhinged. Don't be proud, that's pride. Don't want too much, that's greedy. Don't satisfy your hunger, that's gluttony. They've invented a sin for everything you should want, so you learn to be ashamed of it, and resultantly, you become predictable, easy to control. And so life becomes void of spice and sizzle, empty, low voltage. Once you remove everything exhilarating, what's left behind is bland. So here's the next lesson in escaping morality's castrating clutch. Pick a sin. Vanity, perversion, anger, pride, greed, gluttony. Doesn't matter. Pick anything you have ever felt yourself taming for somebody else's benefit. And for a week, take notice of every time you apologize for it or restrain your instinct. And then, once you're aware of what you do, just stop. Strategically and surgically stop. If it's pride, don't hold yourself back or diminish yourself any longer. Say what you really feel with definitive weight. If it's sexual, express your desires without embarrassment or shame. If it's anger, don't pretend everything's fine when it's not. Show your passionate displeasure. Reclaim your pride in who you are and what you want. And once you've mastered one sin, then take them all on, one by one, until you stop crawling through life and you start dancing through it. Step 5, the bad boy effect. The final step is the most fun and almost the most effective. Stop doing what people tell you to do, expect you to be, or need you to ignore. Act like a bad boy or a bad girl. Be a leader and lead. Trailblaze. Do and be exactly who you want to be. Freedom is not an idea, it's a practice, and repetition ensures it becomes a lifestyle. But freedom by definition requires disobedience, non-compliance. So step 5 is disobey. Not random disobedience, not casual rebellion for the sake of it. Strategic and considered for effect. Ask yourself, where can I disobey and stand my ground? Where can I finally say the no I've been wanting to say for so long? Where can I stop being so nice? Especially where I want to tell someone to fuck off. Maybe it's turning down an invitation without giving a bullshit polite explanation, and instead merely saying what you feel. I don't want to go because I don't like hanging out with you. Maybe it's ignoring someone who expects a text answered or a call returned immediately. Maybe it's ending something everybody else wants you to keep alive when all you want is to just let it die. Find those acts of disobedience and execute them with decisive knowledge that with each and every one, your freedom from morality is more and more assured. You do not need to be good. You are not addicted to anyone else's approval. You only need to be true to your code. So there you have it. You want to find your potential? You want to live life at full volume? You need to take off those handcuffs and recognize that you're not merely breaking free of morality. You're overcoming the inherited addiction of being approved, asking for permission, being seen as good by those who don't matter. Most people never accomplish this feat and will die without ever having lived. That's the real tragedy. If you want to feel life boiling in your blood, if you want to feel furious passions and intense exhilarations, embrace who you are, trust your instincts, and unleash the full you. So try some of these steps. Try them out, and if you find they work, drop me a comment here. Then hit like and subscribe, because your support really helps me keep doing this.